Alright, um, wanted to give a little review on this string trimmer. You see a ton of reviews out on YouTube of people, basically they're paid promotions. They're either given the trimmer or they're paid to give a review on these string trimmers, or they're given a review on a trimmer that they've used for about 2 weeks. This trimmer, it's from 2017, and I wanted to give a little bit of overview how do these things hold up after several years of use. And I'm just a residential use guy, got what, 3/4 of an acre here. I trim around a fence, around, nothing out of the ordinary. This is really above and beyond the trimmer that I would need. I do like to tinker on stuff. I'm a side mechanic, you can see by my toys here. But I went with an electric trimmer here. Found a good deal on one, figured I'd give it a shot. I was eyeballing a couple different brands. This one popped up. Had some good reviews online. But what you're going to find out in this video is what those other YouTube guys aren't telling you about. So, with 3 years of use on it, how's it work? Well, when you get it to work, it works great. Plenty of power, it's lightweight, battery lasts as long as it needs to. Never really ran short of battery. Actually, I've never even run it down past half. I hung the battery charger up on the wall. They're doing an excellent job of cooling that battery. It's got fans in the battery, and it'll also have fans in the charger. When you run it, it doesn't even really get hot. What's interesting. So, about halfway through this year, what I started noticing is that the head would the motor would stop spinning. Had to let the head completely stop, pull the trigger again, and keep running. It almost acts like the computer is getting confused on the rotation speed of the head. So the computer in this needs to know how fast that head's moving in order to drive it, right? It's a brushless motor. And the head needs to come to a complete stop before I can give it throttle again, and it keeps doing that on and off. It's not really an overload problem because it can be in the air, and you pull throttle, and it'll run for 2 or 3 seconds. You let off, not all completely, and then pull it again, and then the computer seems to get confused. And you got to let the motor completely stop. The computer resets, and then you pull it again. When I bought this, I could have swore I'd have battery problems. These lithium batteries are quite finicky. But, to my surprise, it seems to be lasting just fine. Along with the other lithium batteries that I have around here, I use Ryobi, and I also use Milwaukee hand tools from time to time. That's one hassle with going to these lithium with these new power tools, is you end up with a whole bunch of chargers. Right there's my chargers on the wall, and you see I tried to hang everything up, and you start getting a bunch of chargers hanging around. So that's a side effect of this. I have Ego products. Now I have to have another charger hanging on the wall. I wouldn't exactly call these lithium string trimmers any safer, because with that battery plugged in on the wall all the time, because that's really what you need to do. The charger will run through a maintenance cycle every so often. So really the right thing to do is to have the battery, when you're not using it, like say over the winter, is plugged into the charger and running. But with that said, more than one of these has burned people's houses down. So is it any safer than having, a gas can sitting in the corner of the garage? Yes or no? Another big problem I see with these is how you're going to fix them. I fix almost everything in my garage and everybody else's garage. I try to turn wrenches on about everything. I don't really believe in just throwing something away. The problem with something like this is I'm having trouble within the computer. How do I diagnose that? You got to be able to rip this thing down, have an oscilloscope, and read the measurements that are coming out of that motor to see what's going on. How do you troubleshoot that? Also, parts are not available. Ego does a good job of not letting you have anything. They want you to bring it into a service center, and the service center is going to look at it, and they're going to go, we can't repair it because Ego's not going to give us any parts to repair it. It's basically the service center looks at it and says, yes, it's a warranty issue. No, it's not. Go buy a whole brand new one. We'll throw it in the trash for you. Maybe in the future you'll start seeing some parts for these things show up on eBay. Let's say you break a trigger, or the mount for the battery fails, or the case for the battery fails. You drop this thing out the back of your truck and the battery breaks off the back of it and you need a new case around it. You're not going to be able to buy that case. You go buy a steel string trimmer or even an Echo or any off the shelf Home Depot brand, you're going to be able to find parts for those. You go right up onto, let's say, MTD's website, you can find part numbers for that. That stuff's around. You need a carburetor, you can put a carburetor on a string trimmer these days for $15. It doesn't take a lot of knowledge at all. Battery fails on this, you're out $150. You might as well throw the whole trimmer out. Just buy a whole new set, because a battery is as much as buying a whole new system, because when you buy a whole new trimmer, you're going to get a charger, trimmer, and another battery. How likely is that battery to fail? If they're doing a good job of maintenance in it, but when you're outside of their warranty, what good is it? The other thing is I tried to run this through warranty. Their warranty department is basically worthless. They ran the serial number on this unit and told me they're not going to warranty it because there's an issue on their computers. They can't warranty it. So what good is it? It's clearly within their warranty terms. It's only about 3 years old. They have 5 years on the product, advertised right on the box, and 3 years on the battery. So they don't want to stand behind it. And by all means, I can understand that. They're probably selling these things for very little margin. Home Depot, that's where this one came from. They ripped Ego apart on these things. Watch out if you're buying them either used or you're buying them from the liquidation guys, the flea markets, or at a garage sale or something. You get one of those and you get it home and it don't work, you're gonna have problems. If you ever, you better hope that thing runs forever. Because basically, if you ever have any trouble with that string trimmer, just like I am here, you're not gonna be able to get parts for it to fix it, and they're not gonna care. They're not gonna repair it, and they're not gonna allow you to buy parts from them. That's what's really sad at this point, is that now people are going out and buying these units, and once they're bad, you got to throw them in the trash. When it's new out of the box, yeah, it worked great. No problems, had enough power. It still today has enough power. I can take that head and bury it in knee deep in weeds and it works fine. Just every once in a while, and it seems to be getting worse, that when you start using that throttle and you give it throttle, you let out a little bit, and then you give it throttle again, it loses like the RPMs of the head, and then it says that the computer freaks out and says, nope, I gotta stop. Give it 1, 2, 3 seconds, pull the trigger again, it's working. Swap that battery around to a couple different Ego products, haven't had any trouble out of the battery, which is kind of amazing. So at least I've still got some money in that battery. I might try to sell it off. But I'm probably going to replace it with a gas version. If you're out and you really want, having electric power, this was my first electric yard equipment piece. And it's nice. You walk in the garage, you pick this thing up, you go out to your yard, and you can start trimming. It's lightweight. You don't have to worry about starting it. You don't have to worry about gas. That's the big thing, is you don't have to worry about the gas going bad. Today's fuel is horrible, especially on the smaller the engine, the worse the problem is. And the mentality with say a gas string trimmer you buy from Home Depot, bring it home, you want to get 3-4 years down the road, carburetor will start to go. Well, you can go on eBay, find you a $10 carburetor and get it working again. This thing, we're 3 years in and it's already failed. Where am I going to go for parts? It's going to go into trash. So pretty dissatisfied about that. If I was going to do it again and I had to have an electric one, I would to be honest with you, I'd go over to Harbor Freight and get that one. That one looked about the same power, same quality, same weight, and then buy the Harbor Freight warranty, which should extend it to about, what is it, 5 to 7 years. That way, at least when I get to the end of that warranty period, I could walk it back into the store and try to get a new one. Here, you're at the mercy of Ego's warranty, which is where I had trouble. They don't want to warranty this thing. I've had Harbor Freight warranty other items, and I've had good luck with them. Basically, anything I walk into the store, the manager, you know, will step, if I'm well outside of warranty period, the manager will step over and we'll talk for a minute, and he'll work out a deal. You know, we'll say you want a discount or do this and that, or we've got scratch and dent one, we can warranty with that. You know, they'll work with me. Ego, they basically said, nope, there's nothing we can do, go buy a new one. It's kind of sad. It seems like they had a little bit of a problem with Home Depot. If you look at the Home Depot's pulled all their products off the shelves and dumped their products at bargain basement prices. You got to be very careful with some of that. You'll walk home with it, and that serial number, everything runs off of that serial number. And if you have a problem and Ego finds out that you bought that on clearance or something from Home Depot, they're not going to warranty that thing. So I hope this is just a little bit of an insight, you know, from someone that's actually used the product regularly for several years. You don't see a lot of that on YouTube anymore. So I'm going to try and do a few more of these reviews because I've got some other products I'm pretty happy with. This is just the first one that's failed me, and it's not just the product that's failed. You know, stuff breaks. I get it. Stuff breaks, needs to be repaired. But what's really aggravating is when you can't get repair parts, and the company doesn't want to stand behind their product and help a customer out. You know, that's the real aggravating part here. Is when you call them on the phone. And that's nice with them, and it's like, okay, fine. You don't want to warranty it, that's fine. You know, provide me with a repair manual. Provide me with the steps needed to troubleshoot this thing. If I want to buy a motor, you know, say $150 for the trimmer, total, what would a motor cost? At most, 50 bucks. Can't even do that. Nope, gotta take it to the repair center. So, now the repair center, I gotta pay a guy 80 bucks an hour to look at it and tell me we can't get a motor for it either. So, what's a homeowner like me supposed to do? Go down in the comments and let me know what you think.